praise to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four winds of the earth. All right, this will be another WW3 prophecy update. The mount up, or the mountain of troops, Armageddon type video. I came across this colonel by the name of Douglas McGregor. He did a lot of about 30 years in the military, different wars and things of that nature, and he's been I basically came across him through social media. This clip here that I want to play, and then there's another clip at the end of this. But the entire 27 minutes is a good listen, because he sees the bigger picture. All right, he sees the bigger picture and how the West is basically over. All right, he speaks about how these and he's not the only former military vet that's come out and is saying these things about the U.S. military in Israel. How this is in 1991. All right, them Arabs over there in the Middle East, or should I say, Western Asia, around in that region, that basically surround those so-called JEWs, and the power that they have is not as it was back in 91. Just as Israel has rockets and this, that, and the third, those other nations that surrounding that region of the land of Israel, the Gaza Strip and all that, those different Arab nations, Turkey, Iran, all right, all those nations in that region with the capability of not only nuclear, but advanced technology just as they have. But he's saying they will destroy Israel if they do that. If they go on with their march or the ground invasion, he's saying that's basically what's gonna happen. And this could very well be the fulfillment of Jeremiah the 49th chapter. All right, and this is why this thing is hot right now. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit of this. I'm gonna play this little clip, and I'm gonna play the end of this when he was Biden. They took a clip what Biden said. All right. And then I got another clip here that I want to play. And he called it straight, and not knowing that he's calling biblical prophecy, because this is what's happening. Ain't gonna be no negotiations at the top to stop what's inevitable, baby. It's over. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he's saying. That's the only solution for Israel and for the West itself to be around, because they can't win a war against them other nations right now, and that's the Most High's doing. See, these Edomites on their way out, and he gonna he gonna push that button. You know what I'm saying? He gonna push that button, Esau. But anyway, let's listen to this one first. And then after we listen to the clips, of course, we're going to go to the prophecies in the scriptures.
24-hour risk-free guarantee. And when you have this conversation with the Lear representative, you'll find out if you can qualify for a $15,000
Salakia.
the past 10 days. Given the event.com.
Here we go.
Colonel McGregor, welcome to the show. It's a profound question given the events in the Middle East of the past 10 days. How can we, the United States and the West, avoid Armageddon?
Well, that's the question that should be on everyone's mind in Washington, and sadly, it seldom comes up. I think the greatest challenge for Americans, even more than for the Israelis, is to understand just how profoundly the world we live in has changed since the last major war that the Israelis were compelled to fight, and that was in 1973. Some of your observers and audience may remember in 1973, Israel was attacked by the Syrians in the east and the north, and at the same time attacked from the south and the west by Egypt. The problem was that Egypt had very limited goals. The Egyptian president was not interested in destroying or eradicating Israel. He simply wanted to regain control of the territory that had been lost in 1967. So he moved across the canal, set up a defense, and that was as far as he went. The Assyrians, of course, did try to break through, and that was somewhat desperate for a period of time, but the Israelis were able to meet that threat first before turning their entire attention to Egypt. This time, the situation is very different. First of all, the weapons have changed. The arsenal of rockets and missiles in the region is enormous. People are quoting numbers in the realm of 130,000 rockets and missiles from Hezbollah alone. We don't even need to mention others in the region. That kind of arsenal is enough in and of itself to destroy much of Israel. But then you have a problem with Hamas and Hezbollah and the rest of the region, and that is the rest of the region is as sick of Israel as much of the world, and Europe is sick of us. And what I mean by that is that we are on the threshold of total war. That's what no one seems to understand. If the Israelis march into Gaza, which I think would be a very unrewarding exercise for them, but nevertheless they seem determined to do it. If they do, they will not only lose soldiers, they will fail to root out the thousands of Hamas fighters that are there. They'll get some, but they won't get them all. They will not improve their position at all with the people of Hamas or the people living on the so-called West Bank. And the rest of the region is prepared to go to war. We have to stop and think about it. It's not just Iran. In fact, Iran has militias that can attack us, anyone who works with us in Iraq and Syria. That's one part of the problem. The Iranians are not going to try to lob theater ballistic missiles at Israel because the Israelis have said they would use a nuclear weapon. But Turkey is different. And the Turks have an unhappy record with the Israelis. Just a few years ago, they tried to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza. The Israelis boarded their ship, killed some of their citizens, and turned back the aid. This kind of thing did not cultivate support and friendliness in Turkey. And remember, Mr. Erdogan is the de facto leading military power in the Sunni Muslim world. Finally, you have the Pakistanis who are very close to the Turks and have made it abundantly clear that the Turks will receive nuclear warheads and other capabilities from them if they need them in order to deter the Israelis from using a nuclear weapon. And finally, the Turks have the largest air forces and armies in the region. The Turks can put 2 million men in the field in the space of a little over a month. And the Turks are ferocious fighters. Now, all of this spells doom for the Israelis if they launch this attack on Gaza. What I've just described is an unwinnable fight. Even the air power from the United States that we could commit is not going to be enough. And we all know we don't have the troops on the ground. We simply don't have very many soldiers or Marines at this point.
So the president has sent 2 aircraft carriers and 2,000 Marines there.
As you can see, this man, he spent 30 years. He's a colonel of the, retired colonel from the Army. And he knows, he still knows what's going on in the military, And as he's explaining, like we were saying, I think it was at the camp, ain't nobody lining up to join the military. This ain't the 90s, where you had that great, because there was a lot of people going to the military around that time. Jake, this is 2023. Ain't nobody invested in the wars of America. And like he said, the world is getting tired of the West shit. Israel shit, you know. But this is the let me get that with my blue letter. Let's go to Jeremiah 49, all right? Because these Edomites are despised, all right? And them Ishmaelites, them Persians, all right? Them Edomites over there in that region, they willing to go, they willing to take it all the way there. Why is my scroll not working? I can't even scroll down on my mouse. Man, what is Slovakia? Let me see what's going on with my mouse, man. And it won't scroll. That sucks. Well, what I do, I read it out of my sword here. Jeremiah 49. Just put it back right here then. This is Jeremiah 49th chapter. And starting at the 13th verse. It says, "For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste." That's all of Edom, all right? All of his rule, meaning he's getting ready to come down. Ultimately, Basra represents America, because this has been the tip of the spear to help this man. He used the military of the U.S. to take down the world, and this is gonna be the place that's gonna be leveled like no other. Even though Israel will be leveled as well, that land region over there. But Basra is the chief. It was a chief city in ancient Edom. All right, the chiefest of the cities of Edom in modern times is Babylon the Great. All right. But all the neighboring cities thereof, that means all Esau, Edom, he's going down. And Colonel McGregor here, he knows it. He knows it's the end of the European power structure. You know, that's why when you listen to the whole thing, he's talking about negotiation. That's the only thing that the U.S. should be doing. He said is trying to negotiate, because they can't win a war. All right. It says, verse 14, "I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle." You heard them just talk about how them different Arab countries, the Iran, all right, in that region, will come up against them. Well, that's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai doing that. It's all prophecy first, and now we're seeing it play out in real life. We're actually witnessing a retired Colonel General. He sees it. He's tied to the military still, even though he retired, and he knows that those nations will do just that, because they sick of Israel shit, like he said, or they sick of us. He said us, they're sick of us. He talking about them pale-faced, them Edomites. The world is sick of them. All right? It says, "I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men." And that's Amalek over there. You small over there, and you despised. All right, and this is what he was breaking down, but he was breaking it down in a militarily fashion. Okay. Verse 16: Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, and that's you, Edom. You's at the height of you at the highest point of all governments at one point, but now no more. You're getting ready to be taken down. That's why these nations are talking the way they talking against you. They have the same type of technology you have, you know, and they willing to sacrifice some to get your ass up out of there, man. All right, and that's what's gonna happen. The Lord gonna use these nations, man. And them Edomites over there, them so-called JEWs, they gonna defy what the world is telling them to do. They gonna go up in there, and that's what's gonna get this thing really jumping. All right, because we in them times. All right, this is them going into making that ground invasion into the Gaza on them people, man. That's gonna bring all the players in. They're gonna have to get involved. Okay, they're gonna have to get involved in this biblical prophecy. We're getting ready to read it. It says, "For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord." And that's what the Lord is doing. All right? Excuse me. We are witnessing the downfall of Esau, Edom in real time. And we reading about it in the Bible. All right? Before these devils was even at the height of their power, this was written. All right? So they definitely, you going down. Verse 17, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that seeth or that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. All right? That's the coming destruction that's going to happen to Babylon the Great. All right? Salakia. So I left off at verse 18. All right, it says, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. All right, jumping to 20 because this is the prophecy here. All right, or the key point. Damn, I think I need glasses. Looking off this page, it says, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and the purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman, which were all Edomites. All right. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right, and that's Amalek, them so-called JEWs. Why you think you got colonels saying this needs not to happen? Because they see it's a suicide mission. All right, but the least of the flock is going to draw them out. It says, surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All right, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna let this other segment play real quick.
Sure. Are the wars in Israel and Ukraine more than the United States can take on at the same time?
We're the United States of America, for God's sake. The most powerful nation in the history, not in the world, in the history of the world. The history of the world. We can take care of both of these and still maintain our overall international defense.
That's Isaiah 47 chapter. We're the United States of America. We are, the scripture says, I am, matter of fact, I gotta get it. I can't even scroll on it. Real quick, let me get that real quick. That proud, I will sit as a lady forever. That's basically what Biden just said. We're the United States, for crying out loud. Well, the United States has a fall, and the fall is going to be great. All right? Here we are here, Isaiah 47. And let me see. Here we are, 47 and 8. It says, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. And that's what you saw Biden just say. He basically said, we're the United States, for crying out loud. That's basically saying we the best. All right? Just as the scriptures is saying right here. I am and none beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. All right? That's the spirit. That's the president saying that. All right? But first and foremost, the Bible said it before. Okay?
Well, he's living in 1991, and that's true for most of Washington. They don't understand that in addition to the Muslim world being infinitely better armed and for the first time capable of united action against Israel and potentially us, he's also dealing with a much reduced defense establishment that, let's be frank, is corrupted and demoralized by leadership that is appalling. How many times do you have to listen to somebody on television ask, well, why isn't it we can't win any wars? Of course, we say that year after year after year, but we continue to spend trillions of dollars. It hasn't done us any good. Now, all of a sudden, we're faced with the prospect of potentially trying to rescue Ukraine from the ruins, which I think is a dead end, but that's what I think we're trying to do. And at the same time, taking on a new war that could conceivably involve the Russians. And contrary to what he would say, Biden and everybody else, Russia is not being harmed by its war in Ukraine. It's stronger and more capable now than it's been since the 80s.
Colonel, tonight, the president is going to speak to the nation.
Let's sit on that one. Let me get this other clip. Cue this one up. I'm gonna read a couple more scriptures. All right. The American so-called dynasty is over. All right. The whole world knows it, except this narcissist with his hand on the nuclear buttons, and he gonna push him. You know, you heard him say, them Israelis, they'll use a nuke over there if they get bum rushed. So the Most High is stirring things up, man, prophecy-wise. This thing is getting ready to go down. Let's listen to this a little bit right here.
I don't know. I think that Ukraine is set up to die at this point. Let's be frank. Sending weapons and equipment there, it's not going to change anything at this point. We just offloaded 8 HIMARS vehicles. These are the rocket artillery launchers. We have identified 1,000 ATACMs. These are long-range Army tactical missiles that reach out to 300 kilometers with great accuracy. We're going to give those to the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians will use them. What will it do? Nothing. It's not going to change the outcome. It may make the Ukrainians feel good if they're lucky enough to hit a target that kills some Russians from time to time or destroys some infrastructure. It's not going to change the outcome of the war. In fact, if anything, it could make matters worse for the Ukrainians. The Russians will double down and make life that much worse for them. So Ukraine is finished. It's done. Militarily, there's not much it can do. Somebody needs to step up and say enough's enough. We won't do it. No one in Washington is going to stand up and say, you know, we made a terrible mistake. You know, we were wrong. Russia isn't weak. We always thought in financial terms. We said, well, financial powers equal dollars on a spreadsheet. Not really. Real economic power stems from resources, cheap oil, gas, minerals, foodstuffs. What has Russia in abundance? All of the above. No one thought that through, and no one understood the Russians. The Russians, gosh, are different from us. They react differently. They think differently. You would have thought someone with a brain would have sat down and said, this is not going to produce success with the Russians. But we didn't care. Washington never cares what others think because we see ourselves as the men in the white hats. We have all the answers. And the answer is be like us. Be like us. Join us. It's almost as bad as Genghis Khan, who used to say, join us or die. Well, we say, join us or starve, join us or go broke, join us or we'll sanction you, and we'll make you miserable. I think the world's tired of it. It's over.
Yeah, I think the West has this. Well, I see this in Sweden.
He said it. All right, he said it. The world's tired of it. It's over. Let's hear that again.
Because join us. It's almost as bad as Genghis Khan, who used to say, join us or die. Well, we say, join us or starve, join us or go broke, join us or we'll sanction you, and we'll make you miserable. I think the world's tired of it. It's over.
Yeah, I think the West.
Yeah. Yep. The world's tired of you Edomites, man. Isaiah, the 19th chapter. And you going to go out violently. All right? You going to fight this war. Damn, I forgot I can't scroll. Man. Let me get it here, my sword. You going to fight this war. The missiles going to fly off. Yahushua is going to return. Get the zapping and delivering the elect. And that's going to be the end of you devils. Through your nuclear missiles. All right? And this is more proof that these end times is definitely talking about a nuclear war. All right? As the scriptures declare a time that there's going to burn like an oven. All right? How the Lord's has reserved this earth, the same earth, onto fire. It's going to be that nuclear fire. All right? This devil ain't finna go quiet. All right? This is the book of Isaiah chapter 19, verse 18. It says, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, not 19. 9. Salakia. Isaiah, the 9th chapter. Isaiah 19, 9 and 18. It says, for wickedness burneth as the fire. It shall devour the briars and thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. Okay? The people, you're going to be fuel for these nukes. You know what I'm saying? For these rockets. All right? when things get jumping off. All right. I'll give one more. And then you got Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, right around like the I think it's like 28, 30. Let me see if I can pull it. Y'all can't scroll. I can get it, but I can't scroll. Let me see. Yeah, I can't even scroll on that. In my pocket for close. Oh, okay. Y'all can read it out of there. But when he was going into, I know I'm all over the place, Salakia. You know, I'm at my tower, you know, skipping through videos and, you know, seeing what's going on out in the world. But anyway, in that first clip, when that Colonel McGregor was speaking about them Arabs getting involved, that's in the region, that's Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, from the 28th verse, all right, to about 30, 33, around that, because they gonna come against them devils over there, man. All right, because like McGregor was saying, the technology ain't like it was in 91 when the West, the U.S. and Israel had the far greater technology. It's not like that anymore. Okay? And like he said, the world is sick of y'all. It's over. That's what he said. It's over. All right? And we'll read this last one in Isaiah 34. I'm gonna read from the top to verse 8, because the reason these things are happening is because the Lord's people, the controversy of us, all right, the ones that's on the bottom, the ones that's not recognized, all right. We watching our Lord Yahweh through His Son Yahweh Shai, the Most High, through our Lord Yahweh Shai, His Son, all right, dismantle you Edomite system, all right? We can see him dismantling your system, and now you're coming out on social media telling the world that your rule as supreme ruler over the planet is over, all right? So this is Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Thus, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be filled together as a scroll. Rolled together as a scroll. This is describing nuclear war, all right? And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree, all right? It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, them nuclear missiles. It shall come down upon Idumea, you Edomites. The missiles that the Heavenly Father put on them German scientists, and you all shared that technology with one another, and you've been building up these bombs, you're going to use them bombs to destroy yourself. Thus saith the Lord. All right? It says, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness and the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorns shall come down with them, all right, satellites, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance. That's what we just read in the first 7 scriptures. How the Lord gonna take his vengeance out on Edom, all right, by using those nuclear missiles that he had that devil create to destroy himself. All right. It says, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. So that's why the Lord is getting ready to do and is doing what he's doing. It's for the controversy of Zion. All right. And all we got to do is continue to sit back and watch Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai bring his word to pass. So Lord will, this was edifying to the hopeful elect. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and we on to the next. Shalom.